All right, now that we have watched the video of the student performing the competency of the portable chest, and we have also seen the instructor evaluation and anatomy review, image evaluation with the student, we can now go into Tragisis and see a competency form being completed. When you log in, the first thing you're going to come to is a screen that should look similar to this. On your left, you're going to choose CS Login, which stands for Clinical Site Login. At the drop-down box, under Site, you're going to choose your clinical site and hit Login. We are then going to have some choices on our left. For this purpose, we're going to choose the one that says Comp Evals. Click that, and you should again come to some drop-down boxes that you can fill in. I am choosing Test Site, and I am choosing Test Student. We are doing a competency. Our major study is chest, and the procedure we're doing is a portable chest. The M behind the exam stands for mandatory, the E stands for elective. We'll then select Next, and we're brought to the competency form. Most of the competency forms look similar in that they're all going to have the acceptable and unacceptable boxes, and additionally the NA if it doesn't apply to the particular exam or series that you're performing. So for our student, she completed her exam in approximately 3 minutes. The timing doesn't have to be exact, but it does help us as instructors in Wanda to determine if a student is performing too quickly, maybe they're rushing, or maybe too slowly, that we need to work on practicing with this exam to get the student to perform in a more timely manner. The next category we come to is exam preparation. Now, when you fill out a competency, you can only check one box at a time. I'm going to check that she did the identifiers with our patient and she introduced herself. She prepared the room. She set a technique prior to positioning. She wore radiation protection for herself and the patient. The next category are general procedures. Unfortunately, our student did not set up the correct distance, so she gets an unacceptable in this category. Now, it does read proper distance, marker placement, usage, and image receptor placement. The student does have to get all of these correct in order to get an acceptable. Now, on the right, we have a comment section. So in this box, I'm going to put a reason why the student lost this point. So I'm going to tell her to remember to check her SID. Did she use proper collimation? Yes. Proper communication, assessment. Now, I will give her an unacceptable here, even though she did most of her history correct, she forgot a couple of questions. So I'm going to include a comment, remember to ask about previous x-rays and surgeries. Now again, if your clinical site does not take a history, you could mark NA. Continuing down, next we have general portable chest procedure. All right, so did she move the equipment around the patient to avoid injury? Yes. Did she remove any monitoring equipment? Yes. Mid-sagittal plane was in the middle of the receptor. That was acceptable. She was positioned straight, upright, supine. Was it performed correctly, centered correctly, and she wore a lead apron. Those were all acceptable. Finally, then, we have image evaluation. Proper exposure indicators were demonstrated with proper processing. So this would be the EXI number or the DI number, whatever your clinical site uses, meaning that the student selected the correct technical factors. Was there the correct anatomy on the image with any motion or artifacts? That was acceptable. The marker was in the correct place. It was visible and marked correctly. Then we come to the section for anatomy. Now, our student did remember most of the anatomy, but unfortunately she forgot the apices. So in this area, I'm going to write forgot the apices, but did remember all other anatomy correctly. All right, then we move down to So excuse me, I see I have a spelling error here and I'm going a little quickly, so I apologize for that. Moving down, performance. Was safety maintained? Yes, it was. Confidence and ease and a good use of time? I think so. Did she recognize any immobilization needs, such as sponges or deviation if it was needed? All right, then the last section you'll come to is basically a comment section. What suggestions do you have for the student to improve in the future? And this is a great area to comment things that, hey, don't forget this for next time. This is an area to state what the student did well. You can leave it blank, but it is nice for the student to go back and read these comments so that they can make notations and remember how they can improve for the next time. And then in this section for our particular student, I might add a comment such as she performed with efficiency and speed. She demonstrated very good confidence, but she needs to just remember a couple of things for the next time, including her history and distance. I'm not going to have you watch me type that in, but that is something that I would put there. Other suggestions I might put is to just remember where the apices are in reviewing her anatomy. All right, the last box is for the student's signature and for them to make any comments if they would like when they go to review the competencies. So that last box you won't have to do anything with. Then we have two choices. I can strictly submit the competency in this blue box, or I can check to complete it later if, let's say, I get called away or maybe I'm not able to complete the entire thing at this time. Now, I did complete the entire thing, and it was an actual patient. I did not simulate it, so I'm not going to check the box for simulated. All I need to do is click Submit. You do have the choice to submit another one if you have another student or another competency to put in. All right, that is it for submitting a competency. It's a pretty simple procedure. I am going to log out of my clinical site because I am done entering competencies. If I go to the admin panel, here I can go to Comps Completed. This is under the Reports tab. And if I click this, I am able to see competencies that were completed. I'm going to quickly scroll down here to Test Student and Apply Filter. And we're going to see the student that I just put the competency in for. Her score is an 86. I can view the details, and I could also go back and edit the competency if maybe I forgot to make a notation or decided to change an acceptable or an unacceptable or whatever you'd like to do to edit that competency. Again, you can also view it from your perspective, and the student will view the competency at their convenience, and after they do so, a green check mark will appear in this area. So that's a nice way that you can verify that you did enter it, the score is there, and additionally you could edit it by adding, deleting comments, or changing the acceptable and unacceptable categories. All right, that is it. So thank you for your time in watching this, and again, ask any one of us if we can ever help you with this procedure, and thank you for all of our students.